welcome to episode 532 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are playing it while suffering through yet another late season blizzard, or, you know, the weather where you are is normal, we're here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And like Megan said just a few days ago, we got another 9 inches of snow here in Minneapolis.
Making this the third
snowiest winter of all time.
Of all time.
It's the snout, if you will. Well, we're almost the snout.
We're almost the snout.
We're not
Do you know
quite
what?
the snout.
I have to admit that as I was driving here this morning, I was like, fine, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go for number one. That's what I say.
It's only like another 4 or 5 inches or something.
Absolutely.
Bring it. All right. Let's, at this point, let's do this. Give us another 4 or 5 inches.
The edge.
Exactly. Fine. Okay. We're here.
Nobody wants to be number 3. We don't want the bronze.
No.
We want the gold, baby.
At this point, if you're this close to winning, just win it.
You know what? We have another system coming in this week.
It's true.
Possibly Wednesday or Thursday. So we could be pushed over the edge.
At this point, I'm saying make it snow. Bring the snow, baby. All right. Am I going to lose my mind? Yes. Does it matter at this point?
No.
Is it already happening?
Yes. You know what? When we looked out our windows on the night of this most recent storm, it was absolutely unreal.
The volume, like the speed and volume at which the snow was falling.
And it was so heavy. It was like cement heavy snow. So tree branches were snapping everywhere.
You know, you had to come pick me up because it literally... A full tree fell down in our parking lot.
Everywhere.
And literally, if it had been 2 feet to the left, it would have totaled everyone, like all 8 cars in the apartment building's parking lot.
Wow.
8 cars. And luckily,
it was, just takes them out.
It was literally
crunch.
2 feet away from the backs of everyone's cars.
This winter is unbelievable.
There were like downed wires. Like the whole parking lot was just covered with wires.
And then the next day, it was 50 degrees and everything almost melted.
Yep.
And now we're getting ready for round number 100,000,010.
You know what?
I want to be number 1 too at this point.
Exactly.
So you know what?
I think at this point I could not feel any worse about it.
So let's keep
going.
On the show today, not only are we giving you the winter updates from Minneapolis, which I know you wait for every week, we're going to talk about March of the Machine because its release is nigh upon us.
Yes.
The pre-release is happening this weekend over on twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun.
Ooh, so exciting.
So very exciting about that. And then the pre-release is next weekend. So next episode is going to be our Judge Rob episode where we go over the mechanics and stuff in detail. But we're going to give you a taste because we know what the mechanics are now. We now know what battle is, which I have been wondering and like thinking about for like 3 to 4 months straight, nonstop. No other thoughts in my head. Only battle, head empty, everything else. So we know what it is. We're going to talk about that. And then next episode is going to be our deep dive. We also gave you a preview card this weekend. We're going to talk about some other exciting previews we've already seen.
Yeah.
We've got a story time.
Yeah.
And we've got a randomizer.
So much stuff. And if you missed it, last week, speaking of Judge Rob, we premiered a new video.
Which
is us and Judge Rob and new friend Judge Eric all playing Oathbreaker.
Yes.
It is so much fun. Judge Rob brought Arlen Werewolves.
Yep.
Judge Eric brought Nicol Bolas Grixis Meanness.
Meantime.
Exactly. Maria.
I played Calyx, which was a great enchantment deck featuring Core Spirit Dancer.
Ooh, you can see Maria go off
you
one
guys,
turn.
I live my best life.
Maria just
I can't.
Absolutely.
I can't even. I went off.
Like plays so many enchantments, and I played Narset Transcendent.
Yes, you also lived your best life.
I really did. I cast a Treasure Cruise.
Oh boy, everybody.
And like Narset for me was like a little bit of like a deep dive, right?
Yeah,
it was cool. Like an old school pull, but I loved Narset Transcendent back when it was legal, back during Dragons of Tarkir. Just a great card. So much fun. And the game is so much fun.
Everybody, even if you're not like an Oathbreaker player, you'll get it and you'll understand. You'll be able to follow along. Yeah. It's a super fun game. It's on our YouTube channel. You can check it out. It's the first in a new series we're producing here from Good Luck High Five Studios called Breaking Oaths. And geez, Oathbreaker is what a riot.
It's a good time.
It's more explosive than Commander. And it goes faster.
Yeah.
And you do the things you love, but at a quicker pace.
Yep. It's great.
For instance, when I was drawing my cards, every time it was like, oh yeah, I love this card. Oh yeah, I love this card. I love this card. So it was just a delight playing these decks that Judge Rob and Judge Eric made for us.
Oh man. And you can see me, do you know what? I'm going to say it. I feel like I worked the politics of that match. I did. I worked them.
I don't know what I was doing. I was eating a ham sandwich over in the corner, making a giant boggle. That's what I wanted to do.
So anyways, go check it out. It's just a really good time.
It's a really good time. We are posting them one a month right now.
I played the match, and then I went and watched the full video when we premiered it last week because I was like, gosh, this game was just a lot of fun. It was so much. I mean, I watched that game 7 times editing it, and I never got bored. So there you go. There you go.
Check it out. Brought to you in part by partnered with Magic Kids, which we love. So check it out, everybody. More of those videos to come because a bunch of people are like, I hope you keep doing those. And we are. We've already got the next video brewing in our little brains of what we're going to bring to you.
Get excited.
And I am excited. I'm already super pumped for that one, which will be coming out later this month.
Yeah. Before we get started on all of that, though, first we have people to thank.
Yes.
First and foremost amongst them are the patrons of this show. Thank you so much to anyone who has ever been a patron over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. And most specifically to Parker. Thank you, new patron Parker.
Yay. Welcome to the family, Parker.
Yeah.
This episode is for you.
This episode is yours.
If you would like an episode dedicated to you, you can get one just by becoming a patron or by increasing your pledge. Patreon.com/GLHF Magic. We'd love to have you. We have such a blast over in the Discord. Megan posts so many pictures of her melting snow in her sink.
Oh my goodness. I still have to put the videos up, but they're too big. The file size is too big. Discord is like, no, ma'am.
Oh man. You've got so much more snow you could potentially
I have so much
now.
time lapse. It's such a long time lapse because it took 5 hours.
Well, you know now what Mother Nature has to contend with all that snow out there. It's not easy being the sun. So join our family. We'd love to have you and support awesome content. You're supporting all of the content we make, right? Not only this show, you're supporting the Upkeep, our new show. You're supporting our new Oathbreaker series, Breaking Oaths. You're doing all of that is included in your membership, by the way. Just FYI.
So much.
We also want to say thank you to Card Kingdom. You can check them out on the internet. cardkingdom.com/GLHF is the link to use. Right now, you can pre-order March of the Machine. Mm-hmm. I'm getting ready for it because it looks really good.
Yeah. It's so cool. So get on over there.
Banger.
Get ready. If you want to get your little thingies on a box of March of the Machine.
I do.
As soon as you can.
Thingies.
Get your little thingies on it.
They've got everything over there. Of course, Phyrexia Will Be One, Dominaria Remastered boxes. If you want to play with your friends, something really cool and special, we recommend that. Selling singles, buying a single, selling your they'll do it all. cardkingdom.com/GLHF. It's time for the randomizer, everybody. We're going to go to scryfall.com, hit the random button, show each other the art, and try and guess what the card does and what it's called based on the art alone. I've got one for Megan here. And you know what, everybody? I'm going to go out on a limb and say she is not going to get this even close.
Wow.
That's the challenge for you.
Okay.
Here you go.
All right.
Take a peek at this fabulous work of art.
Wow. All right. We see I'm going to say a very grumpy gentleman.
Yeah.
He's like hunched over. He has like a staff. He's walking aggressively.
That is an aggressive walk.
Like there's like a cityscape in the background. But the foreground looks a little bit like rubble maybe.
Yeah.
And he's like gesturing angrily. He looks like he's doing one of those things where he's definitely thinking and like mumbling to himself as he's walking.
Yes.
Because he's so frustrated and mad. And I'm going to say that we're going to call this man, we're going to call this guy
Greg.
Yeah,
two
Bob.
G's.
I was going to go with Bob. This is Bob.
They're the second most famous Magic Bob, I guess.
Well, that's true. Bob. Bob,
comma, your uncle.
Yes.
Your uncle. That's the name of the card.
Disgruntled Mage. This is Bob, Disgruntled Mage.
I like that. Legendary.
Is this card? Yep. He's a legendary creature. I'm going to say...
Question.
Yes.
Are all legendary creatures formatted like that with their name? Because I'm like, is there a creature... Well, how about this question? That's not legendary creature that has a name like Bob, comma, Disgruntled Uncle. I mean, Mage. That's what you said.
Taking it back. Bob, Disgruntled
Uncle. That's a cool name, actually.
Yeah, like because all legendaries, like that's part of what makes them legendary, right? Is that they have a proper name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But is there one that's not? That's my question.
I think sometimes when you see the first iteration, right? Like Elspeth Terrell is like the first time sometimes you meet a planeswalker or something.
They're not legendary.
They are legendary. I'm saying that they don't have. Oh, you mean like, is there anyone that we know their first name, but they're not legendary?
Yes.
I don't think so, because that's like the idea of being legendary is that they have a name. Well, yeah, because then it's not just being like, oh, this isn't just any elf.
Right.
This is Glissa.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that exists, let us know. But anyway, this is Bob
Disgruntled Uncle.
What does Bob do?
He's a 1 and a white for a 2/1, and you can sacrifice him to counter target spell unless its opponent pays 1.
I'm already mad because you got it closer than I thought you would. But because he is a small creature and it costs. Did you say one? Well, how much did you say?
I said 1 and a white.
1 and a white. You're sort of close. It's 2 and a blue.
Wow, I almost went with blue.
This card is blue. It does not look blue from the art crop.
No,
it is a 1/1.
But something about this disgruntled uncle
felt kind of blue.
Felt kind of blue.
Merchant of Secrets is the name of the card. It's a human wizard at common. When Merchant of Secrets enters the battlefield, draw a card.
Wow.
It's a 1/1.
All right.
That's all it does. Would you ever think that from looking at this card?
No, absolutely
that's what
not.
it did?
I thought, this guy just looks more important than being a common.
Well, there's the flavor text. Here's some clue. To scrape out a living in Affeto, wherever that is, wizards are reduced to selling rumors, lies, forgeries, or if they get desperate enough, the truth.
Ooh, what's it from?
Legions. That's some cool flavor text, actually.
All right, Maria, you ready for some real weird art?
Yes, absolutely. Always.
Here you go.
Okay, this is weird. This is like a scarecrow in a field. There's a house in the background. The sky is haunted. There's birds.
The sky is haunted. There's birds.
This is scarecrow.
I'm going to write a scary movie, and that's just going to be like my opening instruction. There's a house in the background, comma, the sky is haunted,
what I mean.
period. There's birds, period.
That whoever's making that now knows what to shoot.
Knows what to shoot. Anyway.
This is a creepy scarecrow. It's a scarecrow, so it's an artifact. It's called Field Scarecrow, and it's a 2/4 for 4 mana, and then it does what scarecrows do, which I can't remember. They like make different colors of mana or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that the deal with scarecrows in Magic?
I think a lot of them do, but not all of them.
All right, what does this one do?
This is One-Eyed Scarecrow.
Oh, I was so close.
He has that because he kind of does have like that one eye.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see?
Yeah.
He has like one kind of shiny eye.
With one eye.
It's weird. It is 3 mana for a 2/3.
All right.
Real nice.
And an artifact, so I got all that. Okay.
Defender. Creatures with flying your opponent's control get -1/-0.
Oh, sure. Hey, that's what those haunted birds were doing.
Yeah, they were getting -1/-0.
It's very flavorful. Scarecrows would scare a crow.
They
is in the name. It's on the tin.
This is from original Innistrad.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it definitely looks like it.
Yeah, real spooky.
The whole card itself is haunted.
The whole card is haunted. The sky is haunted. The sky is
haunted. There's birds.
There's birds.
Let's talk about March of the Machine and the new mechanics in the set.
Yeah. So obviously the big one is the new card type battle.
New hotness. New card type just dropped.
Yes.
And it's battle.
So we now know what a battle is.
I was wrong.
It's okay. I feel like, lots of people were.
I think I thought it was going to be like a separate zone in the state in the game, like where a mini game was occurring, which it kind of is.
It is a little bit kind of like that.
I think this is a cool design.
Yeah. So we have, for instance, Invasion of Innistrad. This is 2 black for a battle siege. And it says, as a siege enters, choose an opponent to protect it. You and others can attack it. When it's defeated, exile it, then cast it transformed. This one has flash. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -13 until end of turn. And then in the bottom right hand corner, it has a little number, which is kind of like a planeswalker loyalty. It's how much you have to attack it down. So this one starts off with 5.
And these these battles are showing us different planes which are being invaded by the Phyrexians.
By the Phyrexians.
So this one is Innistrad, and I love that the deal with it on the front front is an Innistradian deal, which is -13.
Yeah.
So we're getting the flavor of the set. We're getting a nice panoramic art as well, which
is very cool.
we don't see that on Magic cards until now. And then what you do is you attack it, and then you get the bonus, which is transforming it.
Yeah, you want to attack it because when you attack it all the way down, then it transforms and you get back the backside, which for instance, in this case is Deluge of the Dead. This is an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. 2 and a black, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So you just get a good card.
Yes, and in some cases, it's an enchantment like this. In some cases, it's a creature. In some cases, it's a planeswalker, right? So no matter what it is, it's going to give you the initial benefit from casting the front side, which you cast at sorcery speed, and then transform it into the secondary benefit, which is this. The cool part is when you cast it, you choose a player to defend it, which is not you.
Yeah.
Because you want the backside, I assume. And that player can attack it. So, but they can defend it. So you would say your opponent, you're saying you're playing this in limited, your opponent will be the defender of Invasion of Innistrad. And then you can attack it like you would attack a planeswalker, like you would attack a player, and they can block as if it's theirs, but it's not theirs.
It's not theirs.
It's yours.
They're just trying to keep you from getting the other side of it.
So cool.
Because the other side is very powerful.
So you're going to have to make the decision. What do you want to do with your turn on your combat? Do you want to attack down your own battle? Do you want to smash into their face? Do you want to maybe attack their planeswalker that they might have in play? I love it. Huge fan.
It is very, very cool. I just want to look at like one other
let's
one.
Do it.
Just
let's
because
do it.
they're so cool. Let's see some more examples. Invasion of Arcavios, which this is the plane where Strixhaven is.
Oh, okay.
Is 3 blue for a battle siege. When it enters the battlefield, search your library, graveyard, and or outside the game for an instant or sorcery card you own. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. It has 7, we'll say loyalty.
Sure.
7 that you have to battle it down. And then it has an enchantment on the other side. Invocation of the Founders. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Okay.
So this one I love, right? Because you do have to attack it down a lot.
Yep.
But you can, like, the other side, I love how they go together, right?
Yeah.
On the front side, you can go get an instant or sorcery. And then on the back, like, if you wait to cast it until you attack this down and get the backside, you're going to copy that spell. Like, that's pretty sick.
What's also interesting about these, which Wizards of the Coast did call out, is the fact that they are subtyped as a siege. So this is battle siege.
Yeah.
And they refer to them as siege enters, meaning that in the future they can perhaps make different kinds of versions of these cards that do kind of different things that will still behave, I assume, kind of similarly to a battle, but they have left the flexibility in there to revisit these in the future and retool them potentially with new sets. So I'm all in on these. I'm so excited. I haven't been this excited for a new mechanic since what am I thinking of? Sagas.
Oh yeah.
So here for it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, they're super cool. I can't wait to see how they play out.
Oh, P.S. If you have something, you can attack them with spells too, right?
Yes. If there is something that says it deals damage to any target, you can target the siege with that.
Nice.
Pretty sick. Yeah.
The other next new mechanic we want to talk about is called backup.
Yes.
And this is very simple. They can't all be A+ #1 bangers, okay?
This is like a new fun take on counters, right? On the things that put counters on things.
Things that put counters on things to help other things out in combat.
Yes.
We have backup. So there is a card with backup that is just absolutely busted in my opinion, which is Boonbringer Valkyrie, which is 3 white. For an Angel Warrior, it's a 4/4. It's a rare with backup 1. So the way backup's going to work is it's going to be backup and there's going to be a number, and that's the number of +1/+1 counters that you're thinking of. In this case, backup says when this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If that's another creature, it gains the following abilities until end of turn. And in the case of Boonbringer Valkyrie, that is flying, first strike, and lifelink.
Oof.
So you can put the counter on itself to make it a 5/5 with those, which it already had. or you can put the counter on another creature to give them a one-time use of flying for strike and lifelink, which is incredibly flexible and great.
Wow. Yeah.
And makes combat really interesting.
Yeah. Another example that's not quite so busted.
I mean, that card is correct.
That card is obviously so good. Is Streetwise Negotiator. This is 1 and a green for an 0/2 creature cat citizen with backup
it's a cat
1.
citizen.
It's a cat citizen.
Great.
From New Capenna, obviously. And so it has backup 1, and this creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power.
Oh,
Right? So that's also a sick card.
Yeah.
Like it's a 1 and a green for a 1/3 that attacks or deals combat damage like a 3/3.
yes.
Or you can make something else bigger.
That's cute. I like it. It's simple. It's not flashy or whatever, right? But, that's fine.
Exactly.
The other new mechanic that's coming at you is called Incubate. So let's read a card with Incubate on it. I'm going to read you a crocodile because it's a Phyrexian crocodile, and that's just cute. Or horrifying, whatever. Injector Crocodile, 4 black for a 5/5. When it dies, incubate 3. And Incubate says, create an incubator token with 3+1/+1 counters on it, and 2, transform this artifact. It transforms into a 0/0 Phyrexian artifact creature. This crocodile just happens to also have swamp cycling on it for 2.
Wow. Nice.
So Incubate is going to be randomly on cards like this, for instance, which will give you the token, which does nothing really until you pay the 2 to transform it, and then you get a creature, which is in this case a 3/3.
Yeah.
Great. So you have a 5/5.
Pretty sick.
When it dies, it leaves a 3/3 behind.
Yeah.
And if you don't need it early in the game, you swamp cycle it for 2.
This is I'm
uncommon.
I'm really excited to see how this mechanic plays out. I like that it is something that sort of like gives you usually pretty sizable creatures for the cost.
Seriously.
But it's like, oh, okay, it's because you're gonna have to pay that 2 to turn it into an actual creature.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You do have to invest.
Yeah. You mentioned on there that crocodile has swamp cycling.
Yes.
Which makes me feel a little bit like, looking through this set, this feels a little bit like a Masters set. Because, right, it has these specific mechanics that are called out in the set.
Yep.
In terms of there's this new card type battles. There's these 2 new mechanics, backup and incubate. But also on some cards we see stuff like Convoke.
Yes.
Is here. Swamp cycling is here, right? Like it's calling back some real bangers of mechanics.
For real. And that makes sense because we're here at the end of a major storyline in Magic with the Phyrexians.
And this is taking place on across all the planes. So of course it's a little bit like, all the mechanics are going to be here. So we don't know if we'll see all of them.
Convoke.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Good Luck High Five preview card, shall we?
Yeah.
Zephyr Singer. We posted this on Twitter over the past weekend and Instagram. 2 blue for 3/4 creature Siren Pirate at rare. Convoke. Your creatures can help cast a spell. Each creature you tap while casting this spell pays for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's color. It has flying. It has vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on each creature that convoked it.
Sick.
This card is stupid.
Flying counter.
Are you kidding me?
Real nice.
Are you kidding me?
It's
already just 4 mana.
Yeah.
So you could just have a 3/4 flying vigilance creature for 4 mana, which is already dumb.
Already very good.
But you probably don't want to even do that.
No.
You want to give all of your creatures flying, convoke this sucker out.
Convoke it out. Oh, 4 creatures?
All flying now?
Convoke with 4 creatures and now they all have flying? Your whole team flyers?
I mean, you got to have the creatures, but we'll see if there's like maybe there's little token makers.
Yeah, that's true. Or you play just like a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. Fine. I still have 4. I pay. Actually, no, because then you could also play a 4-drop and then convoke this.
Disgusting.
So I'm just saying, live the dream, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. This
convoke.
thing.
Yeah, for sure. This is very dumb. Some people are asking, can you over convoke? Can you overpay? Like you can overpay for crew? No. But if you're getting in shenanigans thinking,
that's not how a spell works.
You can make the spell cost more, and then you could do it. But Rob will get into that next week. Anyway, so Convoke returning. Everybody loves Convoke. It's a great mechanic from old. And our card, no big deal, is excellent. So Convoke is returning. We also have transforming double-faced cards returning, of course, because we saw them in the battle. And we saw them in the tokens.
Jin Gataxius a couple of weeks ago, who's one of the Praetors, right? We have the Praetors that transform into sagas on the back.
I love it.
And then when they go to chapter 3, they go back to being the Praetor.
Oh, so good.
It is very good.
There's already been a lot of really exciting cards revealed so far, and the set previews are now officially underway, obviously, because ours was last weekend. And a few have been catching my eye.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. One of those, Megan's got it pulled up.
Yes. I mean, let's just talk about the greatest Magic art that has ever been made.
Yep.
Which is, of course, Inga and Asika. Legendary creature, human god, 2 green blue for a 4/4. Creatures you control have vigilance and tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. And whenever you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card.
It's a 4/4.
It's a 4/4, but really, look, let's talk about this art.
Let's talk about this art.
Let's talk about this art. Let's talk about these rainbows. Let's talk about these photorealistic kitties pulling this chariot.
Wayne Reynolds.
Like, these kitties.
You genius.
These kitties are some of the cutest kitties I've ever seen.
I mean, look, Asika's cats were already cute enough pulling her chariot in their big floofy winter coats, and they've still got their floof on.
Look at these little,
and they're going on a rainbow.
Exactly, and like this kitty in the foreground just is so intent.
I'm freaking out right now.
He's like doing its cat job.
Let's go. I pull the sleigh across rainbow land.
And Asika's having a great time while Inga is like, please open your eyes and look at the rainbow that we're driving on.
Asika's like, I drive like this every day.
Exactly. And Inga's like, the road's over there, please. Can you please steer the cats?
These cats are on Rainbow Road. This is a Mario crossover. Yes. And they're going to fly off the edge and like the little, his name is going to come get you and pull you back up.
It's like Wayne Reynolds.
Magic art of the year. I'm calling it right now.
Congratulations on making a masterpiece.
So that card I'm freaking out over the art of.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
This card I'm freaking out over the abilities of, which is Surge of Salvation. You see this card? You know about this? Single white mana for an instant, uncommon. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Prevent all damage that black and or red sources would deal to creatures you control this turn.
Wow. Maria, you looking at your little way around Brotherhood's End?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm looking at you, Brotherhood's End. Get out of my game. Surge of Salvation. Get out.
Yeah.
You don't matter.
Yeah.
I love this card. It's great.
This art is also like pretty sick.
It is really good. Dominic Mayer on the art on this one.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
It has a story point on it that we won't read maybe to save you spoilers on it, but it involves something which, according to the way I think about Halo, is really disturbing. Yeah. Is there any cards that you have seen spoiled so far that you are that are tingling your magic senses?
Oh man, I think that we've for the most part touched on them because I just love the battles so much.
So good.
They're just so cool.
What about this card? Okay. City on Fire, which costs 5 red for an enchantment. It has Convoke. It's rare.
Yeah.
If a source you can control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage instead.
Woof. Wow.
So if there's enough like little red creatures running around, you can just play this thing. And I mean, like, Torbrand, sit down.
Yep.
City on Fire is here to ruin your day. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm loving all these team ups.
Yes.
Right. I love like Rankle and Torbrand. Speaking of Torbrand, 1 black, red for a legendary creature, fairy dwarf. It's a 3/4 with flying, first strike, and haste. Woof. Whenever Rankle and Torbrand deals combat damage to a player or battle, choose any number. Each player creates a treasure token. Each player sacrifices a creature, or if a source would deal damage to a player or battle this turn, it deals that much damage +2 instead.
Beautiful.
Yeah, which because this has first strike, it'll hit. And then if you have other stuff that's attacking, you can pick that one. And it'll deal damage. Deal double. How about that?
I'm in.
How about that?
I'm in. Elspeth has been shown off.
Oh, yes. I mean, Elspeth is... She angel.
She's an angel now.
She's 2 white
for a 4 loyalty planeswalker. she's great. Her +1, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. -2, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It becomes an angel in addition to its other types and gains flying. -6, return all non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. I love her.
Yeah.
Get in the deck. She's happening.
Speaking of team ups, can I interest you in the Cyclops Homunculus, Borborygmos, and Fibblethip?
That's so good. It's
Two
so good.
green, blue, red for a legendary creature, Cyclops Homunculus, 6/5. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard one or more cards this way, Borborygmos and Fibblethip deals twice that much damage to target creature. 1 and a blue, put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top.
So sick.
Oh, it's great.
I'm huge fans of these team ups.
Exactly. That's one of my favorite team ups.
And if you're going to beat the Phyrexians, I guess you got to team up because things look pretty dire for our heroes.
There's some really intense. There's some intense cards like this Elish Norn and the Backside Saga, the Argent Etchings.
Yikes.
Which is just like, it just reads get wrecked.
That card's text just says get wrecked.
Yeah,
That's
the Argent Etchings, chapter 1, get wrecked. Chapter 2, get wrecked again. Like,
I wish it did. At least a flavor text. Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
So we're going to take a closer look at all of these mechanics and everything and some tricky cards that you might run into at your pre-release with Judge Rob next week in advance of the pre-release, which is, like we mentioned, next weekend. And then you're going to need to know it because it's not even out on Arena or Magic Online until after that date. So go to your store feeling confident with the assistance of Judge Rob next episode. But hopefully this has whetted your appetite for the set because I think this looks excellent.
It looks great.
It's time for story time with Meghan.
That's right. So today we are talking about chapter 2 of the new Phyrexia storyline, Assault on New Phyrexia. Last time we talked about how Kato and the Wanderer and Nahiri all landed on New Phyrexia and they were like, oh, this is bad. Elish Norn was prepared. She managed to break up the big strike team of planeswalkers that was all arriving here.
Yep.
The Wanderer's spark was once again destabilized, so she kind of flickered out and eventually away. Nahiri had a big old fight with Phyrexians and got cut and infected with Phyrexian oil.
But she hasn't told anybody yet.
Hasn't told anybody, keeping that to herself. Kato lost his little Tanuki drone, which I didn't mention, but is very just one of the most distressing parts of the story. I know. Don't worry.
Okay.
And they meet up with Tyvar, right?
Yep.
And then all of them meet up with Malira. They go down, they know they're going to the Furnace lair, the Quiet Furnace Urabrask's lair to try and meet up with more of the Planeswalker strike team.
Okay.
That is here on New Phyrexia to try and blow it up with the Silex.
If only they had walkie-talkies, this would not be an issue.
Well, actually, more on that in a minute. So Elspeth wakes up on New Phyrexia and she's alone and she's like, this is my literal nightmare. I was imprisoned here for a long time back in the day.
Yikes.
Right before I escaped. And so like a bunch of Phyrexians charge and she fights them. And then luckily Kaya is there also. So they dispatch some Phyrexians. And Elspeth is like, look, check everybody, like check yourself for wounds. Don't get stabbed. Check yourself.
Hey,
okay. Don't get cut. Don't touch the oil ever. Elspeth is immune, which is important to know.
Because of
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Elspeth immune. I'm sure it's in the past, but anyways, Elspeth cannot be infected, but she's like, Kaya, be careful. So they fight. They go and find a Mirren camp. And they enter the Mirren camp and they're like, oh, wait. Also, Kaya finds the drone. Kaya wakes up and like the little Tanuki drone is there.
Okay.
And she's like,
good.
Oh, don't worry. I have the little Tanuki drone. Anyways, so they go through one of the weird tunnels, right? That we talked about last time that go down through layers, but you can walk on it like a normal tunnel.
And you're walking on like the side of the wall.
Yeah, you're walking on the side of the wall, but it's a tunnel. And so they get to the Furnace lair. and they find the Mirrans on the furnace layer, and Koth is there, and Koth and Elspeth are old-time friends.
Oh, that's cute.
Koth helped Elspeth, like, rescued Elspeth from Phyrexia back in the day. And Elspeth's like, I totally thought you were dead, because that's a reasonable thing to assume for people who are on New Phyrexia for too long.
Yeah.
I think that you're dead. Seems likely, man.
Very likely.
You should probably try and get out of there. But anyways, they're like, okay, here's our little resistance. Isn't
it cute?
Exactly. Elspeth and Koth are like super happy to see each other again. It's cute. And then Tyvar has arrived there. Kato has arrived there.
Yep.
Nahiri is there. Malira. Right? So they meet up with that part of the strike team. Jace is also there.
Wow.
And they're like, it appears that they tried to establish like a mind link with Jace, tried to like mind link people.
That's the planeswalker version of walkie-talkies.
Like the planeswalker walkie-talkie. But whatever Elish Norn set up, like whatever she prepared.
She's jamming the sig.
Exactly. She's jamming the signal, not working.
Okay, well, at least I tried my idea, which
we learned that
pretty good.
Some of the planeswalkers that were supposed to arrive with them are currently missing. Like Nissa had arrived on New Phyrexia with them, but then got pulled away. No one has seen Vraski for a while. So there are some missing planeswalkers, but they're like, well, look, we just got to keep going down. They make like a little model of the many layers, and Nahiri uses her lithomancy.
Is there time for this?
Exactly. Well, Nahiri is a very powerful, like Kaya watches Nahiri do some lithomancy, and she's like, dang, this planeswalker powerful. Because Nahiri is one of the oldest planeswalkers around.
Oh, yeah.
Which we don't talk about much, but my girl Nahiri, she's done nothing wrong, and is an incredibly powerful
and is very
planeswalker.
old.
And is very old, incredibly powerful. And so they're like explaining, Malira's like, okay, here's all of the layers of New Phyrexia.
Like a 7-layer bar. But
like a 7-layer bar.
We're not going to have a garbage layer in there.
Exactly. We're not going to call butter a layer of New Phyrexia, all right?
Because that doesn't make any sense.
A 7-layer conspiracy. They're like, okay, we have to go all the way down to Elish Norn has built a tree, a mocker, like based off the world tree, a mockery of the world tree called Realm Breaker that's going to be able to connect to other planes.
I see.
Right? So they know that there's this enormous tree called Realm Breaker. And Jace is like, we're taking our new Silex down there, and we're gonna put it in Realm Breaker, and then we're gonna blow it up. And it's gonna blow up
don't know
Realm
that,
Breaker.
Jace, because you don't know how to turn that thing on.
I mean, right person, right time, or whatever. Right. So Jace is like
so nebulous. If I had a house and I'm like, where are the light switches? And they're like, ooh, it just has to be the right person at the right time, and then the lights will come on.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not buying that house. I'm not gonna buy that house. Not my thing.
I think I kind of want something a little bit more concrete.
I would prefer to be able to turn on the lights when I need to. He doesn't appear to be worried about it.
Okay.
And Malira is like, listen up, bud. Is this going to destroy all of Mirrodin? Because you might look around and say that the Phyrexians have ruined this place, but just because this is the plane that New Phyrexia invaded first and took over, doesn't mean that you can just treat our plane as disposable, you big jerk.
Yeah, that's
and
a good
Jace
point.
is like, look, I can't tell you that it definitely won't. We think that it won't. We think that hopefully it will only blow up Realm Breaker. But we
Optimistic.
can't. But we can't say for sure. And
don't even know how to turn it on.
Malira's like, do you know what? I guess at least you're not lying to me. We can go and try it. So they're like, yep, we're gonna have to go down through all these layers. We're gonna use the little special tunnels and go all the way down. And we'll have to go through Elish Norn's Fair Basilica, which is going to be a bad time. But luckily, Urabrask, it turns out, is currently in rebellion against Elish Norn.
Oh,
so there's a little bit of like infighting there.
Cool. Okay, great.
So they're like, hopefully,
they're too
Elish Norn
distracted.
will be distracted by Urabrask. Because apparently, actually, Urabrask is just all about chaos. Like, Urabrask sometimes
when you live in a forge.
Yeah. Urabrask sometimes just lets the Mirrodins be on the furnace layer because he's like, sure, whatever causes the most trouble everywhere all the time.
This is some mid-management issues that Elish Norn should have dealt with.
But you know what? The Mirrodins are working it to their advantage. They're like, they're going to fight, and that's how we're going to get through. And then we have to go down to the seed core level, which is where this little realm breaker is.
Oh, yeah, the seed core, my favorite new type of metal.
Yes.
Where you listen to the sound of a tree growing for 50 years.
Yep. Seed
metal
core.
AF.
And so they're like, Also, no one has seen a Johnny or Karn in forever, and we're sad about it. But they know that Johnny was Phyrexianized.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they're like, nope, we also still haven't seen Karn. He's still lost. What a bummer. So they're like, okay, let's get going. We're gonna go right on down. And before they get going, Nahiri like goes up by herself and is like, I have this stupid cut.
Nahiri.
And Melira comes over and is like, freaking knew it. I knew it.
I knew it got in you.
I knew it, you little.
It's the thing.
Exactly. Melira's like, you can't hide from me. I know. And she gives her, they were talking earlier, they talked about this stuff called hex gold, which is like a metallic substance that they use in their weapons and armor, which helps combat Phyresis.
Ooh.
And she's like, oh, put some of this on it. And then later on, I can heal you. But the problem is you're so powerful. We need you. And when I heal you, you're going to have to recover for days. Like it will be a days long recovery.
So she actually can fix.
Exactly. And so
Phyrexia.
Melira gives her like the hex gold and Nahiri like puts it on the wound and she's like, it doesn't do anything. She's like, nope, that was a bust. And Melira is like, that's okay. You probably still have a couple of days that you can go and fight and I can still heal you in that time. Like you're not far enough along. Or she's like, or I could do it now, but can we afford to can we fight this battle without you here?
I see.
And Nahiri's like, no, you can't fight this. Like I need to be here for this battle.
Yeah.
So you can't fix me right now. And Melira's like, okay. So,
wow.
Nahiri is, of course, being very self-sacrificing because do you know what? She's done nothing wrong. Nahiri, number one.
Good thing Judge Rob isn't here right now. That's all I have to say.
So anyways, that's the update on Nahiri.
Yeah.
Melira's like, I will be able to heal you.
I knew I smelt it in you.
Melira can heal Phyresis as long as it's not too far along.
Might be an important story point.
Exactly. Does seem very important. So they all are prepared now. They're going to go on down to, I assume that the next level that we'll see them on is probably the Fair Basilica level, when hopefully they will not have to fight Elesh Norn's forces, but they might have to.
Yeah.
In order to get to Realmbreaker and detonate the Silex.
They think if they can find the button.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, I would watch this movie.
I know, right?
It sounds
It's pretty
great.
sick.
It feels like an Avengers Endgame kind of situation here
Yeah, it is.
going on. In which case they want to snap, but very specifically one tree out of existence.
Yes.
That's cool that Elish made a sick version of the world tree
Yeah.
from Call Time.
And every time every time the Planeswalkers or the Mirrans there call it the World Tree, Tyvar's like, don't call it that.
That's my tree. It's important
He's
to
like,
me.
the World Tree is a nice tree and Realmbreaker is a bad tree, and don't say they're the same thing.
Well,
So anytime
fair
they even
enough.
call it Realmbreaker, Tyvar's like, grr. Don't talk about my tree like that.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
that was chapter 2.
That's chapter 2.
Holy cow. What a great story so far.
I know.
Having a great time with this one. The past few have been all true bangers.
True bangers, man.
Very excited to find out what happens next. Well, everybody, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five. Thank you so much for hanging out. Please go check out our Oathbreaker video over on our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already.
It's so much fun. You're going to want to build Oathbreaker decks.
It will make that
Multiple
is a
people in the
consequence.
comments already were like, oh,
Yeah.
now I want to build an Oathbreaker deck.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, of course you do.
because this was a great game.
It's sick.
Like we mentioned, we'll have a new one in April. We're already brewing it up, and I think you're gonna enjoy it, everyone.
Thank you once again to new patron Parker.
Parker!
This one was for you, Parker.
Parker Show. Thank you to Card Kingdom. Check them out at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Get whatever you need for your magical life over there. Or if you want to be like Parker and get an episode dedicated to you, you can.
Yeah.
By becoming a new patron on patreon.com
Or upping your pledge.
GLHF Magic. Yes, exactly. Joining our Discord family, having a fun time hanging out, talking about magic there with other great people. Because we just have a fantastic community here at Good Luck High Five, quite honestly. And yeah, very excited for the pre-release next weekend. Excited for the pre-release this weekend with our brothers from Another Canadian Mother, Loading Ready Run. So check that out on Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific. Yes,
a good time.
always watch it. It's a great show. And Rob does judging for them during that. So you can see this little symbiotic, relationship of good people and
What a
magic.
nice community.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So thanks for being a part of that community, everybody. Whether you're a patron or not, you're a part of it simply by listening to us and having us creep in your little brains every week. With our
just like
little
Phyrexia.
Yeah, we're the Phyrexia oil, but in a good way.
But in a good way. Tastes like Oreos.
Oh yeah, it does. Tastes like Numinos.